Hello, everyone. This is to the attention of Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump, the illusion of presidential sanctions, how international accreditation bodies enable economic workarounds. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and also President Donald Trump. Today, I want to shed some light on the critical issue that few are willing to discuss: the failure of presidential sanctions due to the hidden mechanisms that allow businesses and governments to bypass them. We are often led to believe that when a president issues sanctions, targeted nations will face economic restrictions. But in reality, these sanctions are little more than political theater circumvented through a global network of accreditation bodies, international trade agreements, and corporate maneuvering. At the heart of the issue lies the International Accreditation Forum, an organization incorporated in Delaware founded by the American National Standards Institute and the American National Crediting Board. Despite being headquartered in the U.S., the IAF operates an international body with key members from China, Iran, Pakistan, Russia, and the United States under the Asian Pacific Accreditation Cooperation, APAC. Another related entity, the International Accreditation Forum, all claim to uphold global quality trade standards, but in practice, they provide a conduit for nations to bypass economic restrictions, including U.S. sanctions. To illustrate this, let me share a little real-world example. Years ago, I worked with a man in the underground pipe industry. His company manufactured plastic piping to transport water, and Iran was one of the biggest customers. When U.S. sanctions against Iran were imposed in the 1980s, one would assume this business relationship ended, but that's not what happened. Instead, the company found a workaround. They sold their materials to England, England sold them to France, and France then sold them to Iran. This is how business works at the highest levels. Sanctions become mere obstacles to navigate rather than enforceable restrictions. Now let's connect this to the accreditation industry. The IAF and its affiliated organizations, many of which have direct ties to our own Department of Commerce, Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the DOJ, oversee international trade compliance. However, because these accreditation bodies are structured as global entities with multinational membership, they create a loophole where businesses and governments can continue operating under a different flag. The presence of China, Iran, Russia, Pakistan within the same accreditation framework as the United States means that when sanctions are imposed, companies can still conduct business under the cover of international compliance, voluntary consensus standards. This is why I firmly believe, after 40 years in the quality industry and 14 years running my own business, that presidential sanctions do not work. Their interwoven relationships between federal agencies, corporations, and international accreditation bodies allow for economic and regulatory maneuvering that undermines the very policies meant to hold bad actors accountable. If we want enforcement, we must examine and dismantle these interlocking directorates, starting with the IAF, ILAC, ANSI, and ANAB network. Until we do, sanctions will remain nothing more than a symbolic gesture, while the business of international trade carries on as usual, unrestricted, unchecked, and untethered. President Trump, did you hear that? Elon Musk, Department of Government Efficiencies, did you hear that? You need a guy like Darrell Guberman to give you this direction, because just cherry picking what we're doing here and what we're seeing with the Department of Government Efficiencies is not getting to the root cause that will solve the problems of millions of dollars being funneled here and there through these government agencies. I thank you. My name is Darrell Guberman. I am the CEO of Guberman PMC LLC. 203-556-1493. I look forward to hearing from you.